Righto, so we're just drilling and tapping for the studs that are going to go on this this base plate for the motor foot. So I've already centered them out. I'll just drill them out with a 5mm drill and then tap them out. I found a lot of times in the past I've snapped off taps, taken them out. Having the centre in there stops them going sideways on you. Especially with the finer ones, the M3s. They're absolute little pains. Right, that's done. I'll deburr that and we'll get some studs organised into that. And we'll have a go at fitting this motor into place. What I thought we might do quickly, before we put these studs in and make it a little bit awkward later on, I'm just going to take a 45 off that back edge there so I can lower this down a little bit further on the housing. Give me a little bit more play if I need to get the timing belt on. So we'll just give that a lick across there with this little 45 cutter. Right, that'll do us. Alright, so we've got the studs mounted into that pivot block, so I've just used a bit of 243 Loctite, just a bit of the nut lock, and I find that does a really good job if you use the pre-cleaner with it. So it's come up really good. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mount the motor onto that, and then we'll come over and I guess see how it's all going to look. Alright, well I'll do that off camera, and then we'll come back to when it's mounted on the housing. Alright, we'll see how this goes. This is the first time I've done this with the motor. Alright, we'll see if it's going to work. There we go. Oh, hang on. Sitting on this thing. I did get a bit carried away with the pivot block, so I thought I'd grind all the faces just to make it look nice. So if there's anything we can use to maybe hold it up a little bit. How stable it's going to be, but we'll see how that looks. Alright, let's have a look. We're pretty much in line here with our foot down to our anchor, which is good. Alright, I reckon that's a winner chicken dinner. Alright, I've already started the mounting feet underneath here, but I've got to get an 8mm or a 7 or a 5/16 reamer to open up the holes. So what I might yeah, I'll do that first. I need a hole to be able to set the spigots to on that little pivot block we're going to put in there. Alright, I'm a bit chuffed about that. I'm really happy with that proportion actually. That looks really good. I'll unscrew this and I'll give a walk around. I don't want to move it, but I'm going to knock it off that Allen key. You can sort of see in there all the pivots. I'll get it up here, I can't see this, but I'm just hoping it gives you guys a good view. So yeah, just on the face of it, it's looking yeah, it's looking the bee's knees. Alright guys, we'll be back with some more machining. Righto, so we've got our 8mm reamer in. I'll put the head in the back here, so we'll set it down and we'll start knocking this out. Oops. Always in back here, got to go the opposite way. Alright. All done. Right, I'll swap over and I'll set the second one up. We'll bring you back when we're going to be doing the drilling and tapping. Alright, done. I'll put that one there beside it because it was left and right hands, and I wanted to make sure that I got the tap tile in the right position for the left-handed one. Alright, I'll take these out and deburr them, and we'll see how they look on the motor. Righto guys, let's have a look at the next job we're going to be doing, and that's going to be this little item here, which is the pivot mount for the foot of the electric motor. This is the side that we're going to be tensioning up for the timing belt. So this needs to be able to pivot and able to enable us to keep these nuts square on as it goes up. And once again, obviously we have the clevis down here that can also pivot onto that anchor arm. So what we've got, we've already manufactured these two blocks here. So on each end of this we have a pivot that fits into those blocks. As we rotate that around, it rotates around to keep those nuts square, as I said. So that's the next item we're going to be knocking up. Let's go and have a look at the detail on that. And that's what we've got here. So there's the eyesight of it there. So basically it's a bit of stock which is going to be 83mm long, and once again I'm going to do that out of the round stock. So 23.4 is the diameter of the stock that we need to as an absolute minimum to be able to create that. So we'll get a bit of round stock, we can machine that down. I'll machine 2 spigots on either end, and we'll use the same process we did last time with the ER32 collet with an 8mm, with the 8mm 32mm collet, 8mm ER32 collet. I'll get it out of my mouth, and we'll hold that other end there on the vise the same as what we did last time to be able to knock that rectangular shape down. And we can rotate it around, and then we can start knocking out the guts of this anyway, putting a bit of shape into it.
So no great rocket science in this one. So we'll head on out to the bandsaw with a bit of stock. We'll start cutting that back. Alright guys, we'll see you in a tick.
Done. You can imagine having to set that up in a vise and cut that by hand, you know. That takes roughly 30 seconds and it's through. What a time saver these things are. Alright, let's get inside, we'll set up on the lathe and we'll get these, get it turned down and we'll get the spigots machined on the ends. Righto, let's get this machine down to 23.4, roughly at 24 at the moment. So we'll touch off and start our cuts. Yep, 0.02 to go, so I'll just take that off with a little bit of emery and we'll size it up to fit on the blocks which are drilled and ream out for 8mm. Right, I'll flip this over, we'll knock the other side off and then we'll get back into the mill and we'll start knocking this down to shape. Alright, we'll see you later. 1015, so we'll just take that little bit off with the emery and we'll clean that up. Right, we'll meet you over the mill. Righto, we'll go ahead and make a start on these flats that we've got a machine on this. Get the drawing up. So 20 by 12 is what that rectangle's got to be. So I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. You might have remembered last time we did these pivot blocks. We did those with the ER32 collet in the Stephenson's block, and we rotated those around each time, and that came up absolutely spot on. I'm going to do this as if I haven't got an ER32 Stephenson's block. I'm going to machine the flat, rotate it round, use the flat to come up against the jaw, machine the next section down, rotate it round to align it up with the flat, and we'll just go around until we've got that rectangle formed. So the first one we come down is 5.68 on this, and then we'll come down on the other sides there at 1.68. So we'll get this flat machined up first. We'll see how that looks, and we'll work it through. So I've got that zeroed off now. So I'll knock a couple of millimeters off to start with. Yeah, a little bit better. Righto, we'll flip this around and we'll start machining off the one of the other edges. We'll bring you back when we're ready for it. Righto, for this one we've got to come down 1.68. Let's So let's get started. Righto, I'll continue that around until we get to the last one and last side, and we'll bring you back when we just... Alright, we're done. I'll just take the burr off that and we'll set that up to start cutting the guts out of this. So we'll see when we've got that set up ready to go. Righto, we now have to cut this little envelope out of here. Got a radius of 3 or thereabouts, 6mm deep, and we're leaving some 8mm lands on the ends there. So this is the cut I've got in here. It's actually a slot drill, and this one has been hand ground with the radiuses. Now I haven't done that, but that was something we used to do an awful lot of, was hand grind. We never set these up in a tool and cutter grinder, we hand ground them. And over the years you certainly got a knack for it. Sometimes they'll bias on one side than the other, that's just the way it is, but as I said, you got pretty good towards with experience on grinding these things up. Alright, probably not my preferred way to go with a slot drill, but it's already got the radiuses pre-ground on it, so we'll just take our time with it. We've got to go down 6mm, we'll take off a mil at a time, and then we'll measure our lands on either side. It should be pretty close to 8. Yeah, geez. Let's get another millimetre on that. These are certainly not working dimensions. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's close enough to 8. Right, I'll take that out and deburr it. I won't drill a hole for the adjustment stud in this just yet. We'll wait till we get the other mechanisms up, and then I can blue the end of the stud and drop it down onto here and find out where that hole actually sits. Then we can drill it through and finish it off. Righto guys, we're set up to do this anchor. I'm just using a bit of 12mm square key steel for this, so we're just going to knock it down to 8mm in thickness. I'm just going to hand grind that on with the disc sander as far as the radius goes on the end, and probably the end I'll just give it a lick on the sander as well. We'll do the socket-headed cap screws, the drilling and counter boring for those, and we'll do a drill and ream for a sized pin to go between this and the mounting clevis. Alright, so we've got it in. I've just zeroed it off, so we've got to knock about 4mm off that. So we'll get started. should have actually squared that off first before I milled this down. Give me an edge to work off, but I'll go and do that now and we'll pop it back in the vise and we'll drill through the cap screws and the 6mm pin. So I'll deburr that and I'll go and just give that a quick lick on the sander. Right, so I've just given that a lick with my disc grinder. Now, one of the things I don't like about using key steel for stock is the fact that it's cold rolled, it's cold finished, and that sets up stresses in that outer boundary layer. And as soon as you machine that, those stresses relief, and that's exactly what's happened here at the moment. So it's probably going to be hard to pick up on this camera, but it has a bow in it now. So it's relieved. I've got to go and straighten it out before I do anything further at the moment. So I'll go and do that, and then we'll come back and start doing our drilling and counter boring. Righto, we'll center drill first. Now I'll set up and we'll drill and ream the for the 6mm. That was perfect. Righto, all done. What I'll do next is I'll just go to the my disc sander and I'll just radius off that tip there, and we'll get that finished and get that mounted off. Righto guys, I'm just machining a bit of stock down for the little Clevis we've got to make. I'm actually using a bit of leftover stock that I used to make up these foot blocks. We're going to mount that adjuster for. So I'm just knocking these down to size. I'm going to leave them long so that I can set up in my sanding disc so that I can machine that radius in. So we're on to the last cut now for the width. It's the 18mm width done. I'll turn that around. Make sure I don't hit the camera. We'll turn that around and we'll machine that down to 12mm thick. So I'll just take the burrs off that, reset it again, and we'll get that knocked down. Righto guys, we're going to cut this slot for the Clevis now. It's an 8mm nominal width. I've got a 5/16 cutter here, which is about 3/4 thou shy of 8mm, so I will side cut a little bit and we'll make that a nice running fit in our anchor block. We've got to go down about 9.5, so it's got a bit of depth to it. Done. Well, it's set up here. We'll drill through ready to tap that out to an M6 as well. Beautiful fit. Just what we want. Right. I'll get set up and we'll drill and tap into there before we then we'll do our radiuses on our disc sander, and then we'll cut that off and then give it a lick across the top.
Righto guys, we're going to make up the last machining element for this motor support tensioning mechanism. So we're just going to do the pivot pin for the Clevis to the anchor. So it's a fairly straightforward job. It's got a bit of 16mm stock here. We're going to lock the head down to 10mm and the body down to 6mm to fit into those reamed holes. Okay, this is only for the head, so it's not critical. Righto, that's a beautiful fit. Right, we'll cut this circlip groove next, so I'll set up for that and I'll come back. We'll see how that's looking. Righto, we'll see how we go here. So I've got this circlip made up, circlip groove cutter made up. Little tool, it's got to go 0.15 deep. The width by the book is 0.8. I've got that ground at 0.7, so we're just going to do the tiniest little bit of side cutting on that to fit that circlip in place. Right, let's just see how we go, I guess. Alright, that's it. Before we walk away, not quite there. So what I'm going to do is just take a little tiny undercut in there to get rid of that that radius. Right, beautiful. I hate these one size fits all circlips. I knew that was going to happen. I hate circlips. Alright, I'll try and find that and I'll bring his back. Righto, we'll get this parted off to a length and then we'll put it back in a collet and we'll face it off. Righto, I'll set that up in a 6mm collet and we'll face that back. Rightio, that's one pin finished. Alright guys, one thing I did forget to do is we need to mark the centre position for the stud, the adjusting stud on this pivot here. So what I've done is I've just machined up, there's our spacer block we machined up, I've just machined up a bit of M6 socket cap screw that I've cut back and machined a 60-degree point on it. So we're going to use that as a scriber. And such. Alright. We can take this, this block off now. Slide that out. I'll set up in the mill and then we'll drill through that hole for a clearance for the 6mm adjusting stud. So all I'm going to do is just take that block out flip this up. That block will come off. That will come out. Alright, so see we've got our scribe line on there now. Hope you can see that. I'll mark the edge position back in and we'll get that on the go. Righto, let's have a look at the whole thing assembled up. So that's a side view. So you get a bit of an idea of how the feet mount. We'll go for a back view. I don't even see that pivoting arrangement up inside there quite clearly. We'll come round. That's a side view. So yeah, it's coming together. It's coming together quite nicely. That's the front view, which is where I'm going to start next. We'll start making up the slide plates for the ram. That's got to go in here. There's going to be a fair bit of machining to make these up. There's going to be a lot of machining to make those up. But we're getting there. It's sort of taking shape, and roughly where that's sitting at the moment is going to be the centre distances on the Tommy belt pulleys. So that's sort of roughly about where it's going to sit. I'm sort of happy with that. The anchor point there is just dead in line. Alright guys, we'll leave it there and we'll come back with the next operations.